So, I guess in my getting videos up here, the next thing I really should talk about, perhaps that you're all interested in, is my diet. What I'm doing now, what I'm doing from day to day. Where I'm definitely not a raw vegan anymore. I am a raw foodist, and in saying that I'm not a raw vegan anymore, I have to address a slight topic, a digression, if you will, on black or white. Our culture is very much in love with black or white, yes or no. And in saying so, people have this tendency to go from one side completely to the other. And so it's like when I was talking about drugs, people don't really get where I'm coming from with this, because some of the message I was getting were like, they don't get the middle ground with that. To them, you're like an addict and you're fucked up, or you're not doing drugs at all, you know. And some people know exactly what I'm talking about, but this whole black or white thing is really, I'm gonna say it, it's retarded. It's really not sophisticated at all. So, and what I'm trying to say is, people will come into this diet of raw foodism, which is really good, and they go screaming completely into the whole thing, like they leave that world behind. And a bit of this talk I heard from James Sheridan. I really like his philosophies on a lot of stuff. I don't really agree with some of it, and I will tell you, I was really shocked to learn that the guy is 39 years old. He doesn't really come across to me like, just looking at him, not fair to say because we don't know where people's genetics are, but I thought he was my age, you know. Anyways, he's maybe 40 now. But this whole black or white thing, so you really don't like you're either on it or off of it. That's just ridiculous, you know. And religion, the same way, where it's like you're either with us or against us, and that's just freaking fucking bullshit, you know. Because I want to use a simple analogy, being an artist. First off, white is, in the prismatic sense, is the combination of all colors. So, and black is what brings color, depth of color, to those sort of lighter colors. That's what makes everything deeper. So the whole concept of black or white, there's a lot of shades in between, and hear that analogy I just used, so I don't want to repeat it. But anyways, so that's kind of where I'm at with this whole no boxes. I lived a lot. I like the raw vegan diet, and I want to tell you, at my essence, as my emotional preference for what I like to eat, I like the raw vegan diet. And so it was never a challenge for me to stay on it, never a distraction to go and do something else. In fact, in talking to my mom about it, she said that, you know, basically you've eaten that way all your life before I even went to that. When, for example, when we played, you know, we're very family oriented, and if we went to like a, you know, even with all my friends and stuff, we went to maybe a Carl's Jr. or something. She said I would eat at the salad bar when all the other kids were getting chili dogs, and I knew that. I remembered I did that, but I never made that connection, although she did. Anyway, so don't think I'm wussing out, because that's really what I prefer. The flavors are really they just work with me, and honestly, I kind of like to eat a lot. Food is really awesome, and on that sort of raw vegan diet, you can make these yummy salads with so many layers and beautiful sauces and hemp seeds on top with cashew nuts in it and olives, and why would you want to eat anything else other than that? And I prefer that diet. Okay, so where I arrived at turning, I'm going to be 48 in like less than a couple months now, and just things were failing, you know, and I don't know where to go with this first, except to digress to this year where I'd already broken, basically I wasn't a pure vegan as I was, and I became a raw food vegan, a vegan and a raw foodist at the same time at age 22 when I read Survival in the 21st Century, and I've been a vegetarian since 13, okay? So, you know, just a lot of these people that are attacking some of my videos and taking them out of context and saying I look old or whatever, I don't fucking care. It's like, basically, I'm gonna keep doing this. I don't care what you say, big deal. Because I've been there, done that. I've read all the stuff that you've read, all the books, I know all the dogma, and I think a big thing going on is that a lot of these people who have wrote books have worked themselves into a hole, and I think they're lying. I think they're lying, you know. I've heard Paul Nisson sort of suggest this in a video I happened to drop by, about some of these people just are not, it just can't be, you know. There's a few people, well, I'm not going to name any names, but there's a lot of people who are getting up in there in age, and if they've been an honest raw food vegan, Viktoras Kulvinskas is a good example, just doesn't look like what I want to head for. Okay, so I need to fast forward to this great health debate with, I just caught one day, and I thought it was, and I mentioned this, it was Sally Fallon and Will Tuttle, and heard Will Tuttle do all his stuff about, you know, sustainability and all that kind of stuff with the veganism, and you know, I got something I'm going to say. I'm going to save it for a second here, but and then I heard Sally Fallon use what basically the Weston A. Price Foundation had come up with in terms of what happens to vegans and more or less to vegetarians as well, depending on your ethnicity. And again, I want to state that in my belief system, I believe that a person can have a much higher evolved consciousness, a higher kundalini, a much more spiritual connection with God, a ability to take in the prana from the universe and use that as nutrition. I believe that. I don't think there's too many of us here that can do that. Gabriel Kuzin supposedly has a fully realized kundalini. And I've sort of made some comments about him looking depleted, and I've seen some other videos of him. I think I withdraw those statements. I don't think he looks so bad, but the important thing to know with him is that he does have a fully realized kundalini. So, people like that are different. In his book, Conscious Eating, he states that with a fully realized God consciousness, that person could survive on cardboard, basically. And I think there's stories, if you read Autobiography of a Yogi, of people who have eaten just one thing or something like that and been fine and been healthy and amazing and what have you. So I see my time ticking away. I better get moving. So what Sally Fallon had said that, and I confirmed a lot of this in notes that I took with Donna Gates, who is author of the Body Ecology Diet, and I was getting all of these symptoms to a lesser or greater degree, to some extent. Racing thoughts, inability to focus or meditate, quick to anger, a want to alter consciousness, and low sex drive, or basically complete impotence. So I do want to say, as I've said before, when I was a teenager, I had a great, amazing ability to meditate, and as well as astral project. And I lost that. And I thought what was the result of that was just the fact that I had simply gotten caught up in the rat race, and that my sort of cosmic consciousness had been forced out by that commute to work, scream and yell at people all day at work, deal with people, deal with all that bullshit. And I thought that that was what killed it. But no, I don't think so, because the first thing, I broke my veganism with Truth Calkins. You see the video. a lot of the 80-10-10 people love to attack that video, and the one that's right next to it did that and kind of messed with it. But where I really changed was when I was got into a program that Truth was doing with the amino acids and mineral supplementation with them as isolates. And so what I got amazing results with that. I just like, I'm kind of where I am right now has a lot to do with that. And I sort of ran out of money doing that. But I went back to sleeping like a teenager, just totally regenerating my body. And, you know, wow, it was, I was like, you can regenerate your body, you know, but I was really, and then the other thing is like, I had become completely erectile dysfunction, impotent. And that had basically started coming back with getting on my own, getting into high fats. And so that's one thing where my diet is I have this fats or junk foods followed by proteins. The body is a protein making machine, basically. The body exists on protein. And so that changed all that. Then getting into the isolates and getting into having some animal products like an egg a day or just an egg yolk, depending, you know, I kind of muscle test and see what's, you know, I basically put the whole egg in there. You saw me do that one video. And so then on January 2nd, 2011, I took a consultation with Truth in LA, and I ate raw liver with him, and I really liked it. It's like, and I do have to tell you that I never became a vegan because of ethical issues with animals. It's just where I am. I was more interested in complete health. That was the reason why I was into that. So where I'm at now, what I'm doing, you know, about 3 weeks ago I was in LA, and I don't really have a good source for organic, grass-fed, free-range meat. So I don't really eat meat a lot. And I was just kind of thinking about how I felt about it. And it's like, I want to have a really varied diet. I'm going to do a lot of isolates, amino acid isolates, cocktails. I was taking amino acid cocktail of about 15 amino acids with water on an empty stomach in the morning. Wow, worked great. I want to take the minerals as isolates. I want to be a pure vegan sometimes. I want to eat some raw eggs sometimes. And just to let you know what a pure raw vegan I really prefer to be, I cannot eat any of this stuff with a salad, in any way, manner, shape, or form. When I eat sardines, and the reason to eat sardines is because they have RNA and DNA in them, which contribute to cell health. When I eat that, I eat it by itself. Love it like that. I do not put it in a salad. It tastes like shit to me. Raw egg, crack it open, put it in a bowl. Unless I do it in that ice cream drink. That's okay, like I did. But generally, I crack open an egg, down it goes. Or liver. I love liver by itself, or any of that stuff. Liver, I'm actually at one point, just to freak everybody out, I'm actually going to eat liver on here, where it's amazing how it makes you feel. When I first ate it, it just made me, the first few times, every time I've eaten it, just makes me feel so giddy and so like wow, something's inside me. So I'm not doing anything specific. I'm doing everything. And I'm not sticking with any one thing. Like, I have not had any animal flesh since I bought 2 pounds of liver when I was in LA last, which was 3 or 4 weeks ago. I ate the whole thing to get rid of it before it went bad, to eat it raw. Didn't freeze it for 3 days, and then I haven't had any raw meat since. I've been, I bought a dozen eggs like a week ago. I had a long period where I was vegan. And that's what I'm doing. To me, that's the way the human diet is designed to be. We're supposed to adapt. And we have an adaptive ability. And so I think that is, for me, where I'm thinking right now, that is the best diet, is to eat whole foods sometimes, all the time. To eat for 3 months, isolates. To eat ovo-lacto vegetarian. Anyways, this is Keith. Namaste. I love you all. Hope that this is important, great information for you. Bye.